Hey there, it's Lindsay Lapaquette here from Collaborative Solutions, and tonight I wanted to come on and talk to you about those days when we're feeling a little bit overwhelmed. We're feeling we have a little bit too much on our plate and we just can't keep up. I don't know if this happens to you guys at all. This certainly happens to me in cycles. I have moments where I feel very imbalanced, and I have other moments where I just feel like I have bitten off more than I can chew, and I'm in a bit of a phase of that this week. There have been some unpredictable moments in my life. So I had a busy schedule to begin with. I was traveling last weekend for work. We just got home late Sunday, and I've had lots of meetings downtown the past 2 weeks, which have kind of changed our routine. I'm leaving earlier than usual, coming home later than usual, having to skip the gym, which I don't typically do because I'm downtown in meetings. So already had a bit of a packed schedule, and then yesterday we got a call last minute for my son to be seen in genetics, which is great news. We've been on a wait list for quite a while, so I was happy to get him in fast, but there was a bit of legwork that needed to be done to prepare some documents for that. And then on top of that, we got a phone call yesterday from school that our 6-year-old had passed out and had a little bit of a seizure. So we raced to the ER and spent the day juggling between the ER and my son in genetics and, making sure everyone was fine, which they all are, to the best of our knowledge right now. So just a bit of a stressful week for us. And I'm feeling very tired. I'm starting to come down with a little something, which I think is always our body's way of saying, hey, you're a little out of balance. So I'm here today to talk to you about what we do in these moments when we're feeling a little out of balance. Funny enough, I often listen to podcasts and audiobooks in the car, and as I came in the car to drive home today, the section of my audiobook was about time and how time is entirely under our control, and how this sense of feeling overwhelmed is our own conception about time, and how it's a conceptualization that we can change by looking at what we devote our time to and our ideas around time. And it got me thinking about how, for me, part of that feeling of overwhelm this week is that I had expectations and anticipations of what I was going to accomplish this week, which a lot of that had to be thrown out the window with some of this week's events. And that is okay, but it certainly throws me sometimes for a loop when I'm not as accomplishing as much as I anticipated. And those are my own bugs about, feeling like I need to accomplish a certain amount of things. And so I have to remind myself that my value is not related to what I accomplish or what I produce in a week. And quite frankly, obviously the most important thing in my life is my family, and I think anyone in a heartbeat would say taking care of their children's medical needs would trump work-related issues. So I try to stop myself and remind myself of these things. So I'm trying all week really hard to look at how am I saying yes to myself first and saying no to the things that don't say yes to me first. It's something I try to keep in mind in life in general, but when I'm in a phase when life is feeling a little out of balance, I really try to recenter on this. What do I need to do to say yes to me first to regain balance in my life? So for me, the past week, this has come in a few different forms. One is that I have tried to go to bed really early all week. So I'm saying yes to myself, trying to get the sleep I need, and forgetting about the super clean house. Meals have been super simple here lately. I'm trying to say yes to myself first. I just had a conversation with my son this afternoon. It's his birthday tomorrow, and actually, sidebar, but tomorrow we're going to be taking him out to pick his present. He's going to get to choose if he wants to buy a shark or a lizard for his present, and I'm super excited to see his reaction, but that's just a little aside. But I had a conversation with my son tonight about how I'm going to have to buy him a store-bought cake, even though he really wants a homemade cake, and I agree, they taste so much better. But when I got home tonight late again from a meeting and was not feeling well, it just kind of hit me that this homemade cake thing is going to make me feel resentful because I need to sleep. So it was another way of saying yes to me first by explaining to him that, I'll make him a homemade cake next week or something like that instead to celebrate. So always looking at what do you need to do in the moment to say yes to you first. For tomorrow, knowing that I'm coming down with something. I want to be well. I don't want this to get worse. So again, I'm going to go to bed early tonight. And then I've backed out of a couple commitments already for tomorrow. I've backed out of teaching an eccentrics class, and may back out of more if I wake up tomorrow not feeling super well. So give yourself permission to do these things that you need to do to say yes to you first. This is really the only way to attain any sense of balance in our life, particularly in moments that are feeling a little more chaotic. So I really encourage you, no matter what's going on in your life, keep that in mind. Am I saying yes to myself first, or am I saying yes to someone else first because I'm trying to please them and sacrificing my own needs? Because long term, that really doesn't get us to a place of happiness. So I encourage you to look at this and put this in place in your life. And I'd love to have you share, what have you done in the past week to say yes to yourself first? And if you can't think of anything, what can you try to put in place over the next few days to say yes to yourself first and to say no to things that don't say yes to you first? So if you've liked this video, I would love it if you would follow me on Facebook, Lindsay at Collaborative Solutions. Have a good night, everyone.